Yeah, he can't get work now.
He can get work.
He can't get
He's
work.
fuck, he does. He just pumps out a movie every year. Just do an animated skunk or some shit like that. Hey, there you go. 2.8 mil.
As the voiceover
Hey,
talent.
and did it in his tracksuit. This is absolutely Essendon. It's our off-season ramblings, episode 2 of probably a 20-part series. I'm Alfred E. Newman.
And I'm the Colonel Sanders.
Well, that's what they want to call us anyway.
They do, don't they? And that's probably pretty accurate.
There seems to be a groundswell.
I'm surprised we've got an audience member out there who can actually remember who Alfred E. Newman is.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
And for our younger viewers, try Google and you will see an uncanny resemblance.
I don't know if I'm offended. Probably should be. But anyway, thank you for even making those suggestions.
He had that famous saying, "What me worry."
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Right.
What me worry.
Okay.
What
well, that's
me
kind of
worry.
That's kind of me.
Yeah.
I think that's me.
Sums
Fair
you up
enough. So yes.
Here we are.
So we're going to keep the off-season ramblings going. We'll be going for a while because we're in the depths, aren't we?
We are. We've gone so far into the darkest jungle now of the off-season. We cannot see light at the other side. I think this point in time we're at that place, you know, when the astronauts went around the moon and they're on the dark side of the moon.
Right. Yeah, whether you lose contact for that.
Yeah.
How long do you lose
I
contact?
don't know. They're out of contact for a little while and
Right.
can't make any calls home.
Right.
And it feels a bit like that at this time of year. You know, the football season's so long gone now and it's still so far away. You feel like you're the only man on earth. So it's a horrible time of year.
Yeah. No, that's a nice analogy.
Yeah.
You're right. If you are a football lover, but there's lots of other sport to fill its place, don't you think?
Oh, look, there is. And
Hey, did you get right into the Melbourne Cup?
No, I don't. Although I know, a lot of people do. I personally don't condone the treatment of animals in the way they're treated, running around Flemington, unless they're winning for me, of course.
Mate, it's a mate, have you seen the Flemington grass? It's so soft and spongy.
I hope it's not like the Hanger.
Mate.
Should they'd be shooting horses every 5 minutes?
They would be. There'd be curtains going
You'd
up.
need a machine gun set up. The whole field would be tipping over. It's like at the third furlong.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, that's right. In fact, the protesters, instead of focusing on Flemington, hey, head down to the Hanger.
Yeah.
Protest there about the cruelness.
The anti-horse racing people.
Yes, exactly.
Are they? They're a crowd for hire, though, right? Aren't they? They're not really anti-horse.
Oh, I've seen them at a few protests. Yeah.
Were they out at Caulfield last night?
Same faces. Caulfield.
Yeah, there's a big protest down there. Let's not go there.
Oh, right. Okay. Was that Middle East related?
Can I just say one thing on that?
About the Middle East?
Not on the Middle East. I don't want to touch that.
Please, can we not touch contentious issues?
Although you and I have both spent many years living in the Middle East as peace envoys, spreading our special form of love to the world.
Arms across the ocean.
But I will say this. We're all Australians. In case you didn't see your passport, guys. If you're not, maybe you ought to off. But anyway, let's just all be friends, arms around each other. And I'm sure amongst all those sort of rival factions that were shouting abuse at each other, there's probably a few that are all Essendon supporters.
Yeah, there would be.
Yeah,
there would be.
Mate, so you're a bomber?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bomber. Not that type of bomber, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, if you just mention the name Orazio Fantasia, you'd both come together and go,
world peace at last.
Swine.
Unless he was a Carlton supporter, and of course that would only agitate things further. But a Melbourne Cup, so what I like to do is tick off those events as they pass. I said that didn't pass.
Yeah. You're going Hugh Grant.
I did.
It's a rant. Do a rant
I won't
about
do a rant. But I like to tick those because I'm not a big fan of any of these sort of sporting events. Like the Boxing Day Test match is okay. I enjoy that.
Nah.
But then that's the next big tick.
Not so much. Aussie Open. Do you get into the Aussie?
You've got the tennis.
The Joker show.
Get rid of that.
Where he turns up every year to pick up a trophy and a cheque.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's an incredible athlete, isn't he? He'd be good across our half-back line.
Yeah.
The Joker.
Oh, mate.
But the point I'm trying to make is that, yes, you've got these... Melbourne's great for sort of keeping us occupied during the off-season.
Yes.
So there's something,
a lot of distractions.
There's something for everybody in that lot.
Oh, there is.
And then once the Aussie Open's out of the way, I think the Formula One happens just before the footy season starts.
Yeah, generally the Labor Day weekend in March. That's right. Yeah,
so, and then when the smell of Formula One fumes sort of fade off into the distance over Lake Albert Park Lake.
Yes, Lake Albert.
Well,
make it sound...
You know that the whistle,
Yes.
the siren is about to blow. So we're not quite there. We're on the dark side of the moon.
Normally at that stage, we're getting excited about pre-season games where
God.
we've only lost by 4 goals.
Every player is a champion that week before the footy season.
That's right.
Yeah,
Eh?
everyone.
Nothing like it. It's the hope that kills you.
It does. So there we are.
So, yes.
That's what the off-season's all about. We're in the darkest depths of it at the moment.
We are.
And
Now,
our job is to make it a little more entertaining for
At
people.
my Cup Day gathering,
I didn't get
I had
invite for
a
that.
smarmy Richmond supporter say, he said, hey...
because of Solcombe or whatever. Sorry, go on.
No. Well, yes, they have Richmond ownership,
Yes,
but nothing
yes.
to do with that. But just to stick it to me, going, hey, so the Bombers have celebrated 7,000 days since your last finals win. They love to just stick that to us, don't they?
But what do they think that actually hurts?
Like,
Coming
so
from
numb.
Coming
We're so
from a
numb to
Richmond
it.
supporter when they were in the, out in the sort of
In the-
wastelands of
yes,
football
they
for
were.
about 4
Purgatory,
decades.
they were.
It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
be careful.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
always be careful to people that you pass on the way up the ladder, because you might meet them again on the way down.
Wow, that is...
Right.
Write that down, folks. Grab a pen.
We are 7,000 days since that glorious day in September back in 2004, when most of you weren't alive.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, not all of you, but
Yeah.
some of you.
That's true.
How old were you back then?
In 2004?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I would have been in my mid-20s.
Teens? Early 20s?
Yeah.
Right, whatever. Actually, you're probably closer to that than I was.
Yeah.
But, we beat Melbourne that day, a team which had the likes of James Hird, Scott Lucas, Matthew Lloyd. They were it, and their jock straps are hung in the hanger in the trophy cabinets as a reminder of what we once were, and what we certainly are not at the moment. So,
yes. Well, on that note, coming up in a future episode, one of our viewers wrote a very detailed report and sent it in. That was a few weeks ago. We haven't had a chance to address it yet, but they looked at previous Essendon Premiership teams and the players in the key positions, comparing to who we have today.
Right.
And it was, you're looking at who stands up to the predecessors in those positions, who is way behind.
So basically, who would you pick in a best 22 from?
It was a very good and
the
detailed report.
93 grand final team?
Yes,
The 2000 and the current team?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
None
that's
of the
right.
current team,
So
really.
we're going to we won't do
Zach
that
Merritt.
today. But it was a very good piece of work. Really appreciate. We really do have some switched on people tuning in. So we will address that maybe as we lead up to.
I remember
lead
that,
up
that
once the
comment.
draft is done and as we head into the 2024 season.
Very good.
7,000 days.
Yeah.
But the
Who was the Prime Minister? Was it John Howard back then in 2004?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Better days.
Oh, geez, let's not get into
Better
politics.
days.
I
Well, we
don't-
already
I
have.
don't- I don't know about
George
that.
Bush in the White House, I guess.
Yes.
Because John Howard was his deputy in the Pacific. I think that's what he was referred to. He's my deputy in the Pacific.
Oh, really?
I think that's what George Bush called him.
Yeah, that sounds nice and condescending.
We're going to smoke him out. So there's a lot of things, a lot of water under the bridge, a lot of hot dogs at the MCG have been consumed.
My God. Yes. In anger.
Yeah, a lot of them been thrown,
Mm-hmm.
and yet here we are.
Just
So-
anxiety. How much therapy has been created and needed, required because of it?
It's the lost generation of Essendon supporters,
Yes.
and I do hope that we see better times in the not too distant
But in the
future.
meantime-
Well, there's us.
The
So-
AFLW team,
Well,
we're in the finals,
shit,
mate. We're
how-
in the finals.
We are absolutely flying high. The ladies have taken flight and are soaring at the moment.
They have.
And
So they
are
play
playing-
tomorrow.
That's if you're watching.
They're playing,
that's
yes. Oh, sorry, yes.
the
Yeah,
Saturday,
whenever
Sunday
you're watching. It's the Sunday, yes.
of the
whatever.
12th of November, I think it is.
Right, okay.
So
Oh, very good. So
where are
in
they playing the game?
Cardinia Park or
what?
GHM, whatever it is.
Yeah. And it's their first semi-final or what is it?
Yeah, no, I think it's an elimination
Oh,
final,
God
and they're
help
playing
us.
the Cats, obviously.
If they lose. Oh, can you imagine? That idiot, your friend who barracks for Richmond, he's probably
Yes.
going to look you up and call you, you
Probably.
lost another one, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you lost another one.
Looking to stick it to me.
Anyway, good luck to the girls.
Yeah.
I absolutely, it would be an incredible effort if they were to pull off a win.
It would be nice.
Only their second year in the AFL competition,
Mm-hmm.
and gee, they've done so well, haven't they?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
really have, and they're bonded as a team. They represent everything that's great about our football club, the ladies, and I just hope that the guys are watching on from wherever they are in the world.
In Arizona?
Some of them are in Arizona.
Yeah, lightheaded.
The others are
Bit
probably
sleepy.
they'll get up early to watch it, I'm sure, because this is a great achievement, and congratulations to the ladies,
Yes.
to the coaching panel, to the whole club for bringing together this this team, and I think there's only better things for them in the future as well. They've got a really good side and a team that's playing very, very well at the moment. So
All the pundits they'll pitch along, giving them no chance.
well, we're not going to do that. We're going with the ladies for sure.
No, we are.
In a
Give them strength.
in a sort of surprise win, but I think in a bit of a boil over, I think they will win by about 6 points.
Don't have to win by much.
No, you don't. A win, an inch is as good as a mile.
That's right.
So good luck to the girls.
1 point victory, I'm tipping.
Now, talking about the boys, we mentioned last time, when was that, a week ago?
What did we mention? We
talked about the group of 15 of the Essendon players have gone to Arizona to be a part of the high altitude.
How are they
training.
going over there?
Look, I'm going to
a lot of snaps of the Grand Canyon.
We'll put some pictures up, but I tell you what, give me some of that air, because those boys, their abs and their pecs are popping at the moment, and not that I'm looking at it for any other reason than professional assessment.
Sure. Are they using filters?
They might be, but I tell you, young Elijah Sartis.
No.
He's gone from Frodo-like stature
to what?
Well, early Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
He looks amazing. So, and a few of the other they were flashing their ripped kits.
Right.
And looking very good. So I would expect that group of 15 are going to be, keep an eye out for them when they hit the footy fields early in the new season, because they look great. So, we'll put some pictures up. But
will you? Oh, really? You can get your hands on them?
I can.
Are these topless photos?
This is from the dark web.
Right, okay.
We might have to break YouTube's nipple rules, because there will be some male nipples on show.
They are very strict.
Why is it that male nipples are okay? But female nipples are not.
It's always been the conundrum, hasn't it?
And Danny's nipples are just a no-no.
Oh, don't. The next point.
So we have a lot of things happening.
The draft coming up.
Yeah, so that's coming up.
Who does it look? Well, what selection are we sitting on? Is it 9, 10? Has it dropped down to 12?
It's still. I think it's 9.
So who's looking like
10? I'm not sure. Well, look,
young as Dersma's no chance.
No, young Zane Dersma will be gone well before we enter the dance floor.
Right.
I think there's a young boy by the name of Nate Caddy.
Nate.
That's
right. Any relation to?
Yes, he is related to Josh Caddy. Yes, he's a marking machine with an incredible burst of pace off the mark. So when he gets that ball, he flies, and he's a great mark for his size.
Is he?
I think
what is his size? What are we talking?
He's about 193 centimetres.
Oh, nice.
So that's a nice sort of mid-height. He's not a towering tall forward.
Yeah.
But probably around the same sort of height as a Kyle Langford. That sort of height, I would guess.
Oh.
And
talk to me. Nice.
He's incredibly highly regarded, and he's that kind of elusive forward that would just slot in very nicely with our current lineup. So I think Nate Caddy is one to keep an eye out on. We may or may not take him. I'm not. I'm just speculating at the moment.
We need to go to Felix for that. Bring Felix in.
I think Felix would be right across. Felix at Everything Essendon.
Yes.
Check out his channel for something a little more meaningful than what we're spitting out today.
That's right.
But he will be across that. I'm sure Felix will know, and I'm sure he will say, guys, you're right on the money when it comes to Nate Caddy.
Right, yeah, please. We'll look out for all of your comments. Thank you. Now, in other news, Kevin Sheedy up for re-election on the board. What are your thoughts on that? What are you thinking?
I'm a little torn, to be honest. Yeah. What do you think? Maybe you go on this one, because I'm not sure.
Well, he's mid-70s, isn't he? So he's he's
ageist.
Well, no, he's perhaps starting to lose it a little.
Oh, God. You could have mounted that case 40 years ago.
Very true. Very true.
He's probably actually a little saner than he was.
That said, we wouldn't have a lot of the joyous things that we have now.
And that's why I'm torn.
World.
Yeah,
yes.
That's why I'm torn, because easy to knock the guy. I know he's been a divisive voice in the club over the last few years, but
if not for him, we wouldn't, even while we live in this purgatory, this constant Essendon fan purgatory of just no joy in our lives, we wouldn't get to enjoy things like Anzac Day, Dreamtime at the G, things like that. That's all because of Sheeds.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And it's worth talking about the 7,000 days without a final win. It's also worth noting that since 1968, which is 55 years ago, no other coach other than Kevin Sheedy has won a final for Essendon in 55 years. So just think about that.
Oh, I love the way you worked that stat.
Think about
that. You really chiselled that stat into something quite epic.
It is epic, and it's a damn shame, but it's also worth keeping that in mind. Every time people take a crack at Sheeds, I think, you know what? Look, he's one of about 11 board members. Who cares? Let him stay. Yeah. I mean, the guy, I would be happy if he was carried out in a box. He is a legend of our club, one of the few legends we can actually point to at the moment. And I think having him around the club is a fantastic thing. I see Alex Ferguson from Manchester United still in the stands watching Man United. Maybe he's not as involved in the club's daily operations as, say, Sheets is, but, you've got to keep these guys involved, to keep them around the club. These are the people that have built the club to being what it is, and I, for one, would like to see him stay on. But there's a strong movement, a strong anti-Sheedy movement out there. I'd be keen to know what our viewers think about that.
Yeah, it would be good to know. I mean, you could make an argument that the time for mascots is over, okay? And even though he enriched the club...
He's not a mascot.
In that type of...
he's a legend of the club.
Yes, no, I understand. And he's brought great things to the club, but maybe it's time to take that position, bring someone else in
who will we replace him with?
Bring a disruptor in, like he was 35 years ago.
It'll be some ex-school teacher who's got a few mates who said on a night out on the piss, go, you should run for the Essendon board.
Oh, well, don't when you sell it like that.
Yeah, exactly what it is, though.
It's not going to be that.
Well, hang on. Have a look at who's on our board. I won't say anything. Look, there are some...
Andrew Welsh.
Andrew Welsh, he's a well-credentialed member of the board, for sure.
Right.
If you want to build a housing development, he's fantastic.
They all need to have other gigs.
But you've actually nailed it. That's all it is for a lot of these guys. It's just another gig.
Yeah, of course, because it just looks
they get a box
great
at Marvel Stadium.
Looks really good on LinkedIn.
Look, let's see. So that election's coming up. The AGM's, I think it's in December.
I don't know. I don't know where I stand. I was just providing the alternate view.
No, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
He has a large place in my heart, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, you've spent many a night over a teriyaki with Sheeds, haven't you?
A teriyaki.
Or whatever what restaurants you went to with Sheeds.
Asian fusion it was.
Was it Asian fusion?
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Anyway, teriyaki.
He's a man of, he's prolific in his ideas. I'll give him that.
Yeah. What's the most incredible thing you have, the memory of him, because you know him so well?
I don't know him that well at all. But he liked to stir the pot. But I asked him to choose who did he think was a better player out of James Hird or Tim Watson, and he went for Hird.
Oh, that's interesting, because he was very critical of Hird early in his career. In fact, in one of Sheedy's books, I think we talked about this once on our show, but he actually said Hird was not the sort of guy he could be a buddy with. So
Well, my impression was he thought that Hird was more fearless than Tim Watson, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting, actually, because how fearless as in would just throw himself into moments of danger.
Cracking his skull.
Well, that was breaking Mark McVeigh running into him. I'm not sure he did that as a
eye sockets, cracking ribs.
Timmy would throw himself around too.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's not.
Please.
Yes. There he is.
Cowie and avert your eyes.
All bow, yes.
No, look, I think
right.
it's probably a fair assessment. There was probably no braver footballer than I've seen. And I'll tell you, you talk about him having his head smashed in.
Yep.
That was just a pure accident. And I think it was Mark McVeigh collided
It's
with
always,
him.
the worst is always collateral damage.
But
always.
The bravery element of it was when he came back.
Yeah.
And I believe it was against Adelaide at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
And he was wearing the Jason
headpiece.
Dunstall's hat.
Yes.
The sort of spongy helmet thing. And in the first 2 minutes of that game, threw himself headfirst into a sort of a contested ball situation, and the whole stadium just went quiet. So, jeez, what? And he came out with the ball, dished it off, boom, down there, goal. It might not have played out exactly like that, but that moment where he threw himself into the pack, you just thought, man, this guy's just...
Yeah.
He's just got the biggest cojones going around.
He does. Very large cojones.
So, yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean,
industrial-sized
If Kevin
cojones.
Sheedy's saying that, then you've got to think, well, he must be one of the, the gutsiest footballers, because Sheed certainly had a lot of really hard-nut footballers.
He really
playing.
did. He had a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do we have any more to
No, look,
to share?
that's it. I mean,
Okay. All right.
there's not a hell of a lot to talk about, to be honest.
No,
and
there
we
isn't.
have touched on a few different subjects today. Oh, look, one thing I wouldn't mind just quickly talking about.
Is it football related?
No, it's actually, I'd like to just quickly mention the Aussies in the cricket and the One Day World Cup.
Sure.
Let's just say right now, and I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said a million times.
Right.
Glenn Maxwell's double century against Afghanistan,
Right.
which most pundits and cricketers are saying was the greatest innings ever.
But they're not very good, are they?
What do you mean?
Afghanistan.
Well, they had scored 290 runs against us, and we were on the ropes at, I think, 7 for 90.
Right.
When Pat Cummins came out and joined Glenn Maxwell in the middle, and what chance of winning a game from that far back? We've got the tail enders.
Yep.
Hard to chase big totals like that when you're in a one-day situation. Limited balls available. Right. And I think the incredible statistic out of that was they won the game, of course, as everyone knows, but the partnership, which was around 200,
right?
Pat Cummins only scored 12 runs of that partnership.
Right. So he was told, stay the hell out of my way.
No, he wasn't told. He's the captain.
Right. Still, he would have been told. Just stay out.
Well, he probably just saw what Glenn Maxwell was doing and thought, you know what, I'm just going to stand back.
Yeah. That's a good captain.
Yeah.
That's a good leader.
Did his
Read
job.
the moment and just say, right,
but
this guy's in the flow.
I don't know if you saw any of the highlights.
I didn't, I'm afraid.
But the way Maxwell was hitting the ball,
right.
I just felt sorry for the ball. It was just brutal.
Really?
Brutal. And
many sixes?
Quite a few, I think.
Right, okay. Was he marching down the crease?
He was flicking them in every possible direction, back reverse sweeps and flicks over the wicket-keeper. It was an incredible innings. And I will say this much. I know you're not a huge fan of the great game of cricket, but I reckon we might have missed an opportunity with Glenn Maxwell having not played him more often in the test team and him being kind of pigeonholed as a one-day player.
Right. You think?
I think so. I think he's always struck me as being a fantastic cricketer, and we might have missed that opportunity.
Do you want to do a rant to the Australian selectors, the test selectors?
No ranting. No? I'm not going to rant.
Sure.
But, I just think maybe other people will have a different view of that. But I just think we maybe, a bit like Mitch Marsh.
So we're looking to talk now to Essendon supporters who also follow the cricket.
And they universally do. I don't think there's a single person out there who doesn't follow the cricket.
I don't know, mate. I think if you did a Venn diagram, perhaps the overlap section isn't as large as you think.
Yeah.
Well, but tell me if I'm wrong.
He's wrong. All right. Well, I think on that note, we've probably ticked all of the boxes for today.
Okay.
And I don't have much more to say to you.
No, I don't. That is all. Thank you for watching these off-season ramblings.
They have been ramblings today.
Yeah, we might. We have rambled on today.
We have.
Okay.
There's been nothing exciting about it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes down. Right. Okay. Guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Sooner than you'd like.
Yeah, probably around the draft time, I would think.
Alfie and?
The captain. What am I?
Colonel, mate. The Colonel. Get it right. Okay.
I think that's insulting.
All right, yeah.
See you later.
We should both be insulted.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. See you later. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.